Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, yes, indeed, looking at that peace accord, we might as well take off from there. Peter Esele joins us this morning. He's a member of that presidential committee on the peace which was set up at that time. How did that report eventually go? Any implementation so far?
I don't think there was any as usual, but one thing we did was that post-election violence committee was chaired by Sheikh Ahmed Lemu, and we made various recommendations to the federal government, hoping that those things will be looked into and implemented.
You know, speaking about post-election violence, I'm also talking about now pre-election violence and even during the election. And now looking at that peace accord which was signed, there was a similar one done in Abuja with the presidential candidates. Is there a connection? I mean, how far do you think that can go?
I think one of our major problems is not really about signing agreements. You know, I've always said it in terms of putting anything on paper, we are one of the best in the world. But in terms of walking through what we have put on paper, that is where we are lacking. Politicians, they are wonderful people when the camera is rolling. But how they act when the camera is not there is why we are where we are.
But now, about this rescheduled elections, this is where there's so much talking point. People feel strongly about it, and some people say sometimes justified as well, while others taking away philosophical calmness, calculating how they go about it. What did you think about it when you read it? I
think first thing is, I was actually surprised to see that the reason given for it was actually security situation. Wow. Because I think even in Iraq, they still go ahead and conduct elections. But if you ask me, I think INEC was not ready. I'm emphatic about that INEC was not ready. You have 120,000 polling units, and you need 8 persons to man each of the polling units because of the new technology that they will be using. So if you multiply that by 120,000 units, you have now 160,000 persons that you need to train. Have they been trained? No. Then you talk about PVC. The 70 million PVCs that are expected in the country, are they all in country? No.
But a larger percentage of those PVCs are in the country, aren't they? And I mean, when we spoke to the chief press secretary of INEC, he says, look, some of these things are just being bandied, that things are actually going on. INEC themselves said, look, we are ready for the elections.
If you look at the dictionary definition of ready, it means completion. That's the way I want to take it. If a man says, I'm ready, it means completion. And what we should be doing now, or what we should have been doing 4 weeks to election, is trial runs. Have we had any trial runs? And I'll ask as channels, have you seen the reader, the PVC card reader? Have they come around to advertise and make Nigerians understand how this thing works? No. So there are a lot of things that goes along with it. And that's why I said, sometimes we act in a manner whereby we set the stage for violence by commission or omission. Because definitely when the election was postponed, there was huge tension in the country. But we also need to now have a level head and actually look at the umpire and see, are they really ready? I think INEC is also being allowed to get away lightly over this. I'm not saying remove the chairman. Please, let me be very clear about that. But I'm just saying we should do things right. Now, let me give an example. Since 1999, we've not had elections same day, same month in the next election cycle.
You think that will help if we do that?
Yes. Now, an average American knows that when we copied our presidential system from America, knows that if an election is conducted now, he knows when the next presidential election will be conducted. He knows when the local council election will be conducted. Now, we don't know. Now, the last one was also postponed on the very day of election when accreditation was going on. Was now postponed by 2 weeks. And we are repeating the same thing, which means there are certain things that we're not doing right. So if you need, I'm not saying that even after the 6 weeks that INEC will not deliver. But I'm saying that the cost of what they are going to deliver is very, very high. Because to be frank with you, anybody that likes, let them steal 10 million PVCs. You are not going to be able to rig. I still have that strong belief and that strong confidence that at the end of the day, this will be one of our best elections.
Well, anyway, I think we still have those who are skeptical about the process, because every time we think we are almost getting there, something pops up. It could be some form of discussion, whether you believe it or not, about some people trying to scuttle a process. Now, looking at INEC and looking at this particular shift, now you're talking about INEC, and you're using the word we always, but let's name institutions now. The security agencies. If we knew INEC wasn't ready the way you have painted, why wasn't that the main reason given to the nation? Because the actual reason given to the nation was that we cannot guarantee security. And if we're talking about preparedness or unpreparedness of INEC at this moment, it would seem as if we're trying to get some form of excuse to sell to the Nigerian people.
Now, let me tell you something. I am an institutional person. I believe no matter what, you must defend the institution. No matter how good an individual is, he can take the country to a particular level, but it is the institution that will take us to the destination. So if attention is on, you want to have a powerful guy, the powerful guy can be around for 100 years, 110 years. But the institution will be around for 1,000 years.
And that is why you should.
And that is why at all point in time, we defend institutions. And that was why I found it very laughable. What we've just done now is that pushing the ball and whatever it is that they may have done behind the scene that make it look as if that is security. But what we've done now, I just listened to...
Not make it seem. That's what we were told.
Now, let me tell you now. I just saw the chairman of APC. He has a right to be very, very aggrieved. And the feeling now is that security agencies are also now conniving with the ruling party. And what that means now is that institution is already seen as being compromised. So if on actual election day and there is crisis, wherever they are, the people now also see them as enemy number one. So what that means is that the independence and the respect of that institution is also diminished. And so even the security agencies will also be the first on the fire line when violence comes up. If we are going to have something like that.
Didn't they say there's reading?
Don't
they get the reading?
That is why I am at a loss at the way we think and do things. I don't think there's anything wrong if you ask me and I said, okay, fine, I'm supposed to train 960,000 people and they have not been trained. Now, of course, I was a two-time TUC president. So, of course, I have my contact and I was also a member of National Conference. Now, let any INEC official come and tell me that there were no PVC that arrived this country yesterday. I'm saying. PVCs arrived this country yesterday. And resident electoral commissioners have been told to come to Abuja to also pick materials. So now, if you are picking materials for election that is scheduled for Saturday, and you've always been saying you are ready, how really ready are you?